collector herself.
Championship belts just hanging from different parts of the body of Moné. That tells you everything you need to know about what a talent you are looking at.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes in pro wrestling there's a little bit of debate with these title belts. Do you wear it? Do you carry it? What do you do with it? Mercedes doesn't really have a choice. She has to wear some of them, carry some of them. She's turned it into a whole outfit here, and she is looking to collect one more from Emersyn Jayne.
I remember after Moné defeated Kanji at High Stakes back in April, Emersyn Jayne said Kanji had let the entire women's division down. If it had been her, she would have got the job done. Well, now, tonight in Crystal Palace, she has the opportunity to prove it.
Introducing first, representing Discovery Wrestling and Revolution Pro Wrestling, she is the current reigning and defending Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion, the badass, Emersyn Jayne! And introducing her opponent, representing AEW and Revolution Pro Wrestling, from Boston, Massachusetts, she is the Primetime Wrestling Women's Champion! She is the Best Jar Women's Champion! She is the EWA Women's Champion! She is the CMLL World Women's Champion! She is the Owen Hart Foundation Champion! She is the AEW TBS Champion! And she is your current reigning and defending undisputed British Women's Champion, the CEO, Mercedes Moné!
I'll tell you, we've had matches in the history of RevPro that have gone shorter than the time it took to announce every single one of those championships that Mercedes Moné has. That is how decorated she is.
And Mercedes, she got right in Emersyn Jayne's face, and Emersyn Jayne didn't back down, she just smiled.
Jayne, who sees herself as something of a gatekeeper of women's wrestling here in the UK, was a winner several years ago here in RevPro of the Queen of the Ring tournament, then disappeared from the company for a long while, came back earlier this year at High Stakes, the night when Mercedes Moné successfully defeated Kanji. Then 1 week later, when Kanji was trying to apologize to the fans in London. Emersyn Jayne came out here, as I said, and he said that Kanji had been a letdown. That she had one job and she'd let down the entire women's division. A very harsh assessment, obviously. Well, Jayne now has got to put her money where her mouth is if she thinks she can do better.
And listen, Dave, I mean, people talk a lot of talk. When it comes to Emersyn Jayne, though, and this is just my personal opinion, I think she could be the one. I think she could be the one to defeat Mercedes Moné. I think she could do it here tonight.
Since then, obviously, since April at least, we've seen another title defense by Mercedes Moné at Summer Sizzler, and that was aggressive from Moné. Summer Sizzler was against Sapphire Reed. Jayne, a very seasoned competitor, isn't going to be intimidated, isn't going to be, as she will see it, patronized by Moné.
Talk about busy schedules. Mercedes Moné, this is one of 4 matches she's set to have in 4 days. 2 of them championship matches. It could be a very victorious weekend for the CEO, or it could end maybe not the way she's exactly planning, if Emersyn Jayne has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Moné tomorrow here at Crystal Palace is going to be in a 6-person tag team match, teaming up with Kanji, who since their match together have become friends. Kanji, Danny Luna, the other member of that team, against 3 of the Cutthroat Collective. The elbows from Emersyn Jayne, a pull of the hair from Moné. Some of the fans not appreciative of the tactics here of Moné, but still a pretty loud CEO chant ringing around this massive auditorium.
Mercedes seems shocked, but then turns it around and takes down Jayne, and oh, they go back face to face.
Yeah, look at this face off. Lady, you're absolutely right about Emersyn Jayne not backing down here, just staring right into the soul of Mercedes Moné.
And notably, it is Jayne who asks for this knuckle lock. And Moné who turns it around.
Moné is taking some shortcuts here. She's conducting herself in a way that, again, is not necessarily the way that all of the fans want to see.
Whoa! Emersyn Jayne, so quick, so explosive.
There's a pin from Emersyn Jayne. I think the element of surprise may have been partly what got Emersyn Jayne very, very close to a win there. Hold on, Jayne.
Whoa.
With Moné on her shoulders. Rolling back through into the pin. Jayne's shoulders were down once more.
Mercedes launches into a crossbody of her own.
Yeah, just in that bottom turnbuckle, but still gave it that extra bit of heft compared to doing it from the ground.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, tried for another crossbody. This time, the power of Emersyn Jayne going to help her out into a twisting Northern Lights suplex for a 2 count.
That is one advantage that Emersyn Jayne is going to have over Mercedes Moné. She has incredible, incredible strength.
Yeah, Jayne has had so many matches where she has been able to overpower opponents. She's hoping to do that here against Moné.
Taking control. A lot of snap on that suplex, right into a cover.
Lightning fast on the snap suplex. And this is certainly evolving into a very different kind of match to those title defenses that Moné had against Kanji and Sapphire Reed.
Oh.
Knees from Emersyn Jayne right into the abdomen. Mercedes Moné tried to get a cover. Moné kicking out immediately.
Jayne has really slowed down the pace of this match, continuing to grind it down on Mercedes, but Mercedes, she's trying to fight back here.
Sending Jayne into the corner, but Jayne swinging around, catches with the elbow.
Inside out on the head scissors.
Duck of the clothesline. Tilden wall.
Whoa!
Right into the statement maker.
Emersyn fights it. She's trying to get to the rope. She's trying to do anything that she can to keep this hold from being cinched fully on. And she did it. She made it to the ropes.
Yeah, very intelligent there from Emersyn Jayne. She realized in the end that her legs were closer to the ropes than her arms were. So adjusted her plan. It's a baseball slide from Moné.
Now that Mercedes has started to turn this around, we're going to see her become relentless.
Yeah, and this is an example of why Mercedes Moné has been so successful, has all of those championships, because she can withstand a barrage of offense like she's taken here from Emersyn Jayne, and yet still looks like she's just in the opening minutes of the match. She's able to come back. Jayne testing that hypothesis, though, by sending her face first right to the edge of the ring. And again.
Continuing to fight on the outside here. Finally, whoa! Jayne tried to toss Mercedes back into the ring. Mercedes had a plan.
Yeah, swung around with the kick there, did Moné. The Meteora, low down, stays on top for the cover, and it's a 2 count for the CEO.
Mercedes really feeling it now. Emersyn Jayne was checking her teeth.
Yeah, they got absolutely blasted in the mouth there. Did Emersyn Jayne rather.
Whoa.
Jayne now picking up Moné.
There's that strength, and wait a second, rolling through, shoulders down.
Oh, nearly got her, but Jayne doing what she can to get back on top. Here's that strength we were talking about of Emersyn Jayne.
Whoa. And Mercedes, she's fighting too. She turned it into a sleeper. Trying to lock on the body scissors is Mercedes Moné.
Jayne's got to be careful here, because won't be long at all until she loses consciousness.
Whoa,
New shit to get out of it.
No way, no way, no way! Pure muscle into the suplex.
And Jayne, those years of experience, meaning she didn't panic there. She knew what she needed to do. She did it. Hooks the leg. Another near fall for Jayne, and that maybe is the difference here in this third title defense that we've seen from Mercedes Moné in RevPro. In both of the previous ones, Moné was more experienced than her opponent. That is not the case against Emersyn Jayne.
Emersyn Jayne has also traveled the world. She's also collected titles wherever she goes. And right now, if she can keep the match at this pace, keep it focused, keep it at this grinding pace.
That's what she's trying to do. Jayne is pulling the hair and then just going to hook the arms of Moné over the ropes so she can get a drop kick onto the small of the back. Jayne, you see her gesturing that that's the beginning of the end, maybe. Is that wishful thinking? Let's find out. Moné gets the shoulder up.
And Dave, I think you're exactly right. In terms of a psychological advantage, pretty much everyone who steps in the ring with Mercedes Moné, they got to see themselves as an underdog. She is the best of the best. Emersyn Jayne, I don't think she ever sees herself like that.
And I think that belief, you're exactly right, is really keeping Emersyn Jayne right in this.
Whoa, Casadora, and denied.
Trying to get the armbar. Trying to get the armbar is Jayne. That butcher's hook grip from Mercedes Moné to stop her arms being separated. Just holding on tight here is the undisputed British Women's Champion, but Jayne, look at her just pulling with everything she can to try and separate those hands.
I don't know how Mercedes is holding on here. That is pure grit and determination.
And Moné, that was clever. She got her down, got the shoulders down, and Jayne had to break the hold in order to stop herself from being pinned. And now Moné going for the armbar. Moné going for the armbar. Now it's Jayne who's holding on. The roles reversed here.
There's been so many moments in this match where the offense and defense, it's just mirror images of each other. Incredibly well-suited opponents, but now it looked like Mercedes. Wait, no. No, Jayne escapes.
And now Jayne's going to try and lift her. She's trying to deadlift Mercedes Moné into a German suplex through sheer force of will. She couldn't get it, though, and that's an arm breaker from Moné. Moné will test whether that might be enough. The answer is no. But even the the action there of kicking out kind of jarred the arm of Emersyn Jayne. You heard her kind of screaming out in pain as she kicked out.
Again, back to the arm. Uh-oh.
Jayne through the ropes in her arm. It's dropped over the middle rope.
Dismantling the shoulder.
Moné went for the pin. Kick out from Jayne. The momentum has swung here several times, but it is very much swinging back in the favor of Moné at the moment. That's largely because of the numbers she's been able to do on that left arm.
Jayne, though, giving it right back.
And trying to lift her for another German suplex. Moné goes behind, tries to do it herself. Elbows here from Jayne. And DDT from Emersyn Jayne. Great way to adapt, great way to come up with a plan B on the fly there. Again, the elbows. Moné behind, into a backcracker. You can see that knocked the wind out of the frame of Emersyn Jayne, who's just gasping for air off the back of that move. Here comes Mercedes Moné. Duck of the clothesline, though, from Jayne. Like a one from Moné. They hit each other. Both women go down. It is on a knife edge here. Title for title at Crystal Palace. Now what?
Count is on. They are both down. Dave, this is what we've been saying. They seem to have an answer for everything they're throwing at each other.
Well, they're going to need an answer to this referee's count, or this is going to be over right here.
Emersyn Jayne promised she was going to be the biggest challenge that Mercedes has ever faced in RevPro. She's delivering on that promise right now, but she's got to beat her to become champion.
Using the ropes to help herself back to her feet, and it is Moné who is able to get the first strike after both women return to a vertical base. But Emersyn Jayne not far behind her. Both women looking a little bit unsteady on their feet. Jayne in particular, I think you'd have to say. Still able to get plenty of force behind these strikes to the face of the British Women's Champion. Crossbody from Moné. Moné stays on top of the shoulders. Emersyn Jayne is going to roll through. Here comes that strength again of the badass. Fall away slam from Emersyn Jayne.
Mercedes retreats into the corner.
Jayne diving crossbody run to the midsection in the corner.
This is just trademark Emersyn Jayne here. From behind.
A meteor of the knees into the shoulders.
That's it.
From Jayne. No. Left shoulder comes up. The left shoulder comes up for Moné.
Kick out. It was, again, just the shoulder up, barely able to stay alive. And you can see the wheels turning here for Emersyn Jayne.
Yeah,
and a sign of disrespect, too.
A sign, I think, of how depleted the energy levels are of Moné, that she could just get that shoulder up. Didn't have the energy to hit a more forceful kick out. Now, we've seen Jayne try and do this before that. Reverse pile driver into the sunset flip, though, from Moné. Jayne's got to be careful. Tilden whirl. I think Jayne landed right on the top of her head there.
Now it's Mercedes charging in with the double knees.
Here comes Moné. Once again. Look at those knees driven into the shoulders and face of Emersyn Jayne. Second turnbuckle now for the CEO. And again with the knees. This time staying on top. And another close near fall for Mercedes Moné.
Diving into the meteor, there was no wasted time in that pinfall, and Jayne is still in it.
Moné with Emersyn Jayne backed into the corner. Remember, someone is going to leave here with their opponent's titles. It's winner takes all. Both women putting something on the line here tonight. Knee right to the temple from Moné. And that sent Jayne sinking down into the ropes, but hold on, she's been able to catch the legs here of Moné. Kicks the back of the head. Emersyn Jayne's going to go to the ropes. She's going to try, and she's going to hit Shadowfax. Turning point, maybe, for Emersyn Jayne.
Mercedes Moné, she's using the ropes to even stand back up and launching back into the cutter. Emersyn Jayne.
Jayne, maybe? Maybe. Oh. Again, how close? How close? The finest of margins on numerous occasions here in this title for title match.
We're in deep waters here. This is where Emersyn Jayne needs to stay focused. Repositioning Moné here.
Jayne is going to ascend up on the second turnbuckle now. Mercedes Moné is not moving. The move, though, just at the right time she moved. Lured her in, did Moné. Into a code breaker.
Not done yet.
Over the top, sunset flip into the turnbuckle. The back of the head of Emersyn Jayne bouncing into that middle turnbuckle. Here come the knees again from Moné. Belly to belly suplex straight into the pin, and once more Emersyn Jayne just clings on. What a sight. What a spectacle here tonight at the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. We thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world for Global Wars UK title match here.
Looking for the money maker. And Jayne had it scouted.
Yeah, that was a great reversal. She's obviously practiced that, has Jayne. That was insecure. It's more of a knee to the side of the head from Emersyn Jayne. Jayne, great balance, great poise at this point in the match, rolling through.
Whoa.
Gonna get those shoulders down.
Whoa.
Did you get it? Two. There was another two. Jayne thinks it's a 3 count. It's a good job we've got such an experienced official in there, because Chris Hatch knows that some of these calls that he's having to make are by milliseconds, and I think he's got all of them right.
Continuing to disrespect Moné, and uh-oh.
What a knee from Moné. Moné, arm drag.
Well, rolling through. Hold on, she's got the shoulders down.
Yeah, but just able to hook the leg, but couldn't get enough purchase on it.
Oh!
A low German suplex, and now a kick out from Moné. Both women showing that if their opponent takes their eye off the ball for a split second, it could be over. Jayne's going to look for that pile driver again. Hooks one leg, hooks the other. Drops her on the back of the neck. Is it enough? And somehow Moné kicked out.
Referee's hand molecules away from hitting the canvas the third time.
It is vanishingly rare that anyone kicks out of that. I don't know if they're going to kick out again, though. Mercedes Moné is down. Oh, that shoulder. That shoulder barely getting up off the canvas. But get up it did. God, this is something special. This is something absolutely special between Mercedes Moné and Emersyn Jayne.
Emersyn Jayne, look at the look of determination on her face.
Jayne just kicking at the head here. Again, not overawed at all by the star power of her opponent. In fact, she's mocking Moné. Jayne is mocking Moné. Little middle finger salute. Once more looking for the pile driver. Oh, Moné. Another backcracker. And into the statement maker. The statement maker. The pile driver didn't work. It's a tap out. It's a tap out. And Mercedes Moné collects another title. Wow. Mercedes Moné is going to have to check an extra bag on her flight back to the United States. She is now, as we just heard, the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion. That's Alex Windsor.
Now, Alex Windsor has a lot of history here in RevPro. She has a lot of history with Mercedes Moné, and she's going to be challenging Mercedes Moné for that TBS championship. And hey,
Kanji out. Lizzie Evo was coming. Lizzie Evo from the Cutthroat Collective.
yeah, Cutthroat Collective was looking to cut the legs out from underneath Mercedes.
Kanji, former rival, now friend of Mercedes Moné, stopping the Cutthroat Collective, or at least two of their number, from being able to do anything here. Sapphire Reed. Reed is telling Alex Windsor and Lizzie Evo to wait. I think she's saying we'll get them tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow it's Cutthroat Collective against Mercedes Moné, Kanji, and Danny Luna.
When Sapphire Reed is the voice of reason amongst you.
Well, she's increasingly taking a leadership role here.
And they want to do this right now, Dave.
Why not? Let's go.
Look at Mercedes. And Sapphire pulling Lizzie and Windsor back away.
Well, it might disappoint the crowd, but it might be the smartest thing for the Cutthroat Collective. Sapphire Reed saying, you know what? Those guys have had to, or at least Mercedes Moné has had to fight tonight. We're fresh. Let's keep it that way. We'll get them tomorrow.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Dave. Mercedes has 4 huge matches in 4 days, and you can't do that. Even at the level she's at, you can't do that without it starting to affect you. And the Cutthroat Collective might have the key to finally defeating her.
By the way, Emersyn Jayne in action again tomorrow as well. She'll be one-on-one against Persephone, who we saw victorious earlier on tonight. What a match that's going to be on night 2. Mercedes Moné with the win here over Emersyn Jayne tonight at Global Wars UK, meaning that Moné leaves with another championship in her possession. So many now that Kanji's able to carry some of them for her.
Yeah, we've had to have some helpers come out to collect the titles. But wow, Emersyn Jayne, she came closer than virtually anyone has to being able to defeat Mercedes Moné here. Nothing to be ashamed of, but still champion. And I won't even say which one, still all of the champions, Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, you name a title belt, there's a good chance Mercedes Moné is the current holder of it. And that may go on for a long while yet. The CEO asserting her control here tonight at Global Wars UK. And grateful as well.